Okay, in this problem, we're going to calculate the cross-price elasticity between good X and good Y. You can see that the price of good Y has actually fallen. Let's go ahead and write that in there. Fallen from $10 to $8. And the quantity demanded of good X actually rose from 200 to 300. So we're just going to use the same midpoint formula that we use for calculating price elasticity and apply it here to the cross price elasticity. So what goes in the numerator is the percent change in the quantity demanded of good X, which is simply, first of all, the difference between these two, which is 100. So just go ahead and write that in there in the numerator, 100, divided by the average of these two figures, 200 and 300, that average is 250. And then what goes in the denominator is, of course, the percent change in the price of good Y, which is the change in the price of good Y from 10 to 8, so that's a negative 2. The average price between 10 and 8 is 9, right? You add the 10 and the 8 and divide by 2. That's all you do. And now we need to just reduce. Well, 100 over 250, the common multiple there is 50. 50 goes into 100 2 times. And 50 goes into 250 5 times. So you've got 2/5 divided by negative 2/9. But whenever you divide by a fraction, it's the same thing as multiplying times the inverse, times negative 9 over 2. And what do you notice happens? The 2's cancel, and you're left with negative 9 over 5, which of course is the equivalent of negative 1 4/5. And if you want to write that out in decimal form, that would be negative 1.8. So let's go ahead and circle that. And what's the interpretation of negative 1.8? Well, the fact that it's negative tells us immediately that these are complementary goods. Because if it had been a positive, that would have told us that they're substitute goods. But what's the exact interpretation of negative 1.8? What it says is, when the price of good Y moves in one direction by 1%, the quantity demanded of good X will move in the opposite direction by 1.8%. So for example, if you had a 10% rise in the price of good Y, the quantity demanded of good X would have moved in the opposite direction by 18%. All right? So anyway, that's how you calculate cross-price elasticity of demand.